Good morning, children. Welcome to my today's English class. PUCI first year, lesson number 3, Around a Medicinal Creeper. So today I shall start with lesson number 3, Around a Medicinal Creeper, written by K.P. Purnachandra Tejasvi. So, to tell you about the author, he was a prominent Kannada writer, a novelist, a photographer, an ornithologist, a publisher, and a painter who made a great impression on the new period of Kannada literature. Navya means new period of Kannada literature. In the early stages of his writing career, Tejasvi ji wrote poems, but later concentrated on stories, novels, and essays. So this is all about the author. Let's see to the lesson now. In the present lesson, if you see to the pre-reading activity, it is said about the medicinal value of commonly used spices, masala things which we use in the kitchen, like turmeric, cumin, mustard, sesame, cinnamon, cloves, garlic, ginger, pepper, etc. There are so many spices that have medicinal value. Yes, in a country like India, people prefer to have Ayurvedic medicine than the allopathic medicines because Ayurvedic medicines do not have the side effects. In a country like India, we prefer to have the Ayurvedic medicines. We see so many plants, leaves, roots having medicinal values. Similarly, there are many shrubs, creepers having medicinal value. So this lesson is about one such medicinal creeper. So what are creepers? Medicinal, that have medicine value, that serve as a medicine. Maybe the root, maybe the leaf, maybe the stem. So medicinal. What is a creeper? Creepers are small plants that grow on trees or walls. They need support. To grow, they need support. Or they grow along the ground. They creep along the ground. That is called creeper. So the present story is also of an unusual creeper that has medicinal value. There are so many stories on these creepers. Some are true, some are imaginary, and some are totally false, simply carried on from generation to generation. Nobody knows the truth of it. So the author says, it took him 20 years to learn some facts of this creeper. The author says, the coffee seed bed had to be protected from the sun by putting shade over it. The coffee seed bed, it had to be protected by putting some shade. So once when they were putting up bamboo frames for such a shade, they needed something to tie the bamboos to make a frame. So the author sent a person named Sanna. Sanna was his name. Sanna, Dodda, such names are there. So here Sanna was a person whom the author sent to the forest, to a nearby forest, to get some creepers to tie this bamboo, so that they could tie the bamboos and make a frame out of it. This person, Sanna, went to the forest and brought a bundle of creepers. So many creepers he brought. There is one more character, Mara. Mara opened the bundle and suddenly looked at one of them. He looked at one of the creepers and began to scold Sanna. He said, "Hey, why did you pluck this, you fool?" So this was what Sanna told Mara. The Mara opened the bundle and suddenly looked at one of the creepers and he began to scold Sanna because Sanna had gone to bring. So Mara tells, why did you pluck this creeper? Coming to page number 17, the author inquired about the plant. Mara said that it was a medicinal creeper. It was a medicinal creeper. Sanna said that there were plenty of such creepers in the forest. So both Mara and Sanna go to the forest to see this particular creeper. Out of curiosity, the author also followed both of them. Both Mara and Sanna. Mara and Sanna both were going to the forest. The author, out of curiosity, followed them. There he saw Mara became very active when Sanna showed him the creeper. He immediately caught hold of one of the tendrils and tied it to a nearby tree. He just pulled out one of the creeper and he tied it to a nearby tree. The author was surprised to see this. Author asked Mara, why did he tie the creeper to a tree? Mara said, the thief, now he will be lying here. The author says, why? Where do you think it will run away? So Mara tells a story that there was a curse on this creeper. The curse was by a sage. The sage had given a curse. The curse was Shapa. Curse is a Shapa. When someone needs this plant, they shall not find it. So whenever anybody finds it, it should be tied to a nearby tree so that it will be lying there. So this was the story what Mara knew about the creeper. This particular creeper has a small leaves like the betel leaves, viledele, like the betel leaves, and it bears fruits in bunches like those of the grapes. The fruits are in bunches, how we find grapes in bunches, like that the fruits of this creeper are. This particular creeper grows usually after the rainy season, bears flowers and fruits and dies up quickly. It dies up quickly. It has a short lifespan. Then it comes up only in the next rainy season. So we come to know that it has a short life. In between the rainy seasons, in between two rainy seasons, no one happens to find this creeper. Nobody can see this creeper because it is not grown. But the story Mara told about the creeper was unusual and strange. No one knows what is true, what is false. This is not only in case of Mara, in our entire Indian system of medicine. Our entire Indian system of medicine suffers from such confusion. We only know the stories which are carried forward from generation to generation. We never know what is the truth and what is false. So even in our entire Indian system of medicine, it suffers with lots of confusion relating to these medicinal values of creepers, of plants, of trees, and so on. The author has used the word mystification for confusion. The author says that he wandered in the forests with Masti, Baira, Apparna, Mara. So these were the people. The Masti, the Baira, the Mara, and the Apparna were the people who were working there. And he wandered in the forest with these people and he gained knowledge and information of many things in the forest. The author says he learnt few things of some of these plants and herbs. The author also highlights about the forests. Coming to page number 18, he says, forests are disappearing because people who know about the medicinal value of these plants are also moving away from the forest. People are moving away from the forest. So here it is said that one must realize that if one disappears, then the other becomes useless. If people are there who know the medicinal value of the plants, the creepers, then only it can be used. If the person itself is not there, then the plant is of no use. If man doesn't have curiosity of such medicinal plants, then forest is of no use. Or if forests are cut down, then there will be no medicinal plants, so man becomes useless. That is why the author says, both, if man is there, forest is there, then man is there. If man with the knowledge of medicine is there, then there is the use of forest. So the author says someone should be aware of these things. The author says when he began to discuss about the unique properties of these plants and herbs with his friends who were doctors, they would become annoyed. They would get angry. They called the author ignorant. The word used is ignoramus. The word used is ignoramus in the lesson. So it is the doctors would call him ignorant. The author further tells that when Mara tied the creeper to a nearby plant, he only said that every inch of the plant had medicinal value. Every inch of the plant had medicinal value. But he never told what exactly that creeper cured. Either he didn't want to tell or simply he must have not told. That is what the author says. The author also did not force Mara to tell about the use of the creeper. Mara created such excited stories, spun such excited stories. Means Mara used to tell stories, exciting stories on these creepers. So the author makes fun of him saying that instead of tying the creeper to a tree, if Mara would have tied it around his neck, then also people would not take him seriously because he was very good at creating false stories. So the author makes fun of Mara in this way. But that was what he knew about the creepers. Mara was not lying. Whatever he knew, whatever knowledge he had about the creepers, that is what he was telling. In the next paragraph, the author further explains, one day when Mara had gone to the forest to bring some bamboo shoots home, he accidentally cut his hand while cutting the bamboo. While cutting the bamboo, he just got his hand cut. The sickle had cut an artery so one of his arteries had got cut and now it started bleeding. Someone there had brought some leaves and just crushed them and pressed them over the wound and bandaged it with a cloth torn from one of their lungis. So in forest you find people, if they get hurt or if they are wounded, then they take some leaf, medicinal leaf, because they have the knowledge of it. They put it on the wound and simply they just tear an edge of their lungi and they just tie it. So Mara held his hand carefully and he went to a white man, that is a doctor at Huli Hindalu, that is the name of a place, for proper dressing and treatment. Huli Hindalu, that is there was a white man, a doctor. There he went and he got himself dressed. For the dressing he went. The white man got his first aid box, took the medicine, cotton, antibiotic powder, all that from the box and opened the bandage and removed the leaf. The doctor was surprised to see the leaves pressed over the wound. By the time Mara reached the white man, that particular place where the white man was, there was no blood, no wound, in fact, no sign of any wound. Having been there, the doctor became angry and said, "You fool, you are joking?" He shouted. But Mara said that it was true. He was wounded. He showed him the blood on his clothes and body. He told the white man he was not lying. Coming to page number 19 and 20, the Englishman, that is the doctor, believed Mara. So the doctor also believed Mara's story now, but it was true. He told that the leaf that was kept on Mara's wound and told Mara to show the plant. He asked about the doctor. The doctor asked about the leaf to Mara and he told Mara, "See, you show me where that leaf is. From where did you get that leaf, particular leaf? From where you have plucked that leaf. If you show me that particular area in the forest," then the Englishman said that he would give his estate in return to him. The Englishman would give his estate to him. Mara took him to the forest and searched for the plant. Here, when the doctor told Mara to show where that medicinal creeper was, where it had grown, that area, that particular area in the forest, the doctor told Mara, if you show me that area, then I shall make use of all those creepers, and in return I shall give you my entire estate. So Mara took him to the forest, searched for the plant, searched for the creeper, the whole day from morning till evening, but they could not find the plant that had similar leaves. So the Englishman now thought that Mara did not want to identify the plant, but it was not so. He thought Mara was greedy. He was not satisfied even after being offered the entire estate. The Englishman thought so, but it was not true. Mara actually did not find such creeper there when he went to the forest. The Englishman took out his gun. He got angry. He took out his gun and pointing at Mara said that if Mara did not show him the plant, then he would shoot him. The Englishman was very angry now, so he said, I will shoot you. Mara now started shivering and began to cry loudly. He fell at the feet of the Englishman. The Englishman was now very angry on Mara. He drove him away by saying, get out. So the Englishman got angry on Mara because he did not show him the medicinal creeper where it was in the forest. So he just kicked him out of that place. The author says that hearing this particular story of Mara, even he said that Mara's was a cock and bull story. Simply things put together and formed stories, false stories, totally fabricated. That is the false story. The author told Mara that if he had gone to the place where he was wounded himself, then he would have found it. To this, Mara framed one more story. So doctor tells him, see, where you were wounded, if you would take me to that place, you would get that, because from there only you must have taken leaves. So to this, Mara tells him one more story. What is that? The mongoose and the crow peasant also knew about this plant. So this is the story what Mara tells now. Mara further told the story that when they go in search of snakes, these mongoose, and if they were bitten by poisonous snakes, then immediately they would chew the leaf and cure themselves. See this ignorant Mara's story, so many stories he is knowing. He doesn't know what is truth, what is false. He only knows the stories. So now he tells the Englishman that the mongoose and the crow pheasants are there in the forest, and if the snakes go in search of them, these mongoose will eat this leaf, they will chew. Then they will cure themselves if a poisonous snake bites them. This is the story of Mara. This is what the story the Mara tells the Englishman. In the next paragraph, it is explained that Mara did not have teeth on the right side of his mouth. Here there is one more interesting story. Mara had to chew everything from the left side. He did not have teeth on his right side. He was aged. Probably he was aged and probably the teeth must have fallen naturally. But only on one side, how is it possible? The author once was very curious to know about this, about his teeth, Mara's teeth. So the author asks him how he had lost his teeth only on one side. So here Mara told the author one more story. Mara tells another interesting story. Mara told the author that the teeth had fallen long ago and it was not because of aging. He said once he had been to the forest to catch the rabbit. People usually go to the forest to catch rabbits. So once even Mara had gone to the forest to catch the rabbit. He had laid the trap in the forest early in the morning. So before anybody goes there, he has to go there. So he had gone there early in the morning and there were no rabbits trapped in the net. There was a stream flowing nearby. So he decided to brush his teeth before returning home. And he took a small stick from a nearby plant and began to brush. This is the story which Mara is telling the author. After brushing 3 to 4 times, he felt a sour taste in his mouth. He felt that there was something wrong with the stick. So he threw the stick and began to rinse, that is, wash his mouth. He took some water from the stream, put it into his mouth, and after churning it around his mouth, just putting it, gargling it in his mouth, he spat it out. To his surprise, he could see that the teeth that touched the teeth had touched the stick. While brushing, he brushed 3 to 4 times. So, whichever teeth the stick had touched, all had fallen out. And the Mara could see that the teeth that touched the stick while brushing all tumbled out of his mouth. He said that he thanked God as he had not brushed the other side of his mouth. So he had brushed only on the right side, not on the left. That is how all his right teeth were not there, only teeth were left out in the left side. At least he had teeth left out to eat rice. This is the story which Mara tells to the author. When the author questions Mara, how you lost your teeth on the right side, the author tells Mara that if he wanted to tell lies, he should tell in such a way that others should believe it. So the author feels that whatever Mara is telling is all false, simply a framed story. So the author tells him, at least tell story in such a way that others should believe you. Mara said he was not lying. Then the author tells him to show the plant. Again now the author tells him to show the plant. Mara said that there were hundreds of plants and how could he remember which one was that? Mara in turn tells the author to try brushing sticks of each plant, and then with one plant he would surely find the result. Mara tells the author, you go to the forest, take a stick from every plant and you brush. Your teeth will fall down, you will come to know which plant is it. So the author replied, why should he go? Why should he try? It was not he who was telling lies. So there was a small argument between Mara and author. Author told Mara it was he who should discover the right plant because he was telling the story. Further, he makes jokes and tells Mara that while trying the stick of the plant, he may get one such stick which may bring back all his teeth. So the author simply jokes by saying, you go and try, you may get one more new stick wherein you will get back all your teeth on your left side, on your right side. Mara said it was bad luck. Then some plant might even kill him. So Mara is worried about that also. Some stick may kill him also. Coming to page number 21. Here you can see an argumentative conversation between the author and Mara. Both are arguing on a particular point. The author tells Mara that he might find a plant that brings back youth. To this, Mara tells another story. Long ago, Mara and his friend had trapped a barking deer. They took it near a stream, skinned it, cleaned it, and divided the meat. They both had to share the trapped deer because both had gone to the forest to trap the deer. So when they trapped the deer, both of them shared the meat. So to put their share of meat, they put it in some leaves, and Mara had brought it home. That meat he put in some leaves. From the forest he took some leaves, he put it in that, and he took it home. Mara further continued his story that in his house they had got ready to cook. They prepared the masala with the spices, put the water to boil, and opened the packet to take out the meat. He said that to their surprise, they found a live wild buck. Is it possible? Keep meat in the leaf and get a wild buck when you come home? The moment it saw Mara, this is Mara's story, he says, the moment it saw Mara, it jumped out and ran away out of the house. his wife had thrown away the leaves in fire. This is the story Mara tells the author. When author heard the story of Mara, he was speechless. He did not ask Mara for any further explanation. The author knew the geniusness of Mara. The author wondered why the white man of Hulihindelu was prepared to give away his entire estate in exchange for these wonder plants. The author further tells that he had sold the estate and Mara was also dead. Mara was now dead and the author had sold his estate. Now at present situation when the author was writing this lesson, he says all of Mara's stories were not nonsense. Some were true, some were false. As Mara was ignorant, Mara told the stories in such a way that it sometimes convinced the author and the other people, and sometimes they simply scolded him by telling him that he was lying. Coming to page number 22, after a long time, Mara's medicinal creeper was back in news. The author saw another man, Appanna. So Appanna is also a new character now, trying to tie it to a nearby tree. When the author asked Appanna if he knew the uses of creeper, Appanna said that if the leaves were crushed, then the juice would make milk hard. The author thought that juice must be sour, and that is why it must be turning the milk and churning the milk, and it must be making it hard by spoiling the milk. That is what the author thought. The author thought that the juice must be sour, and when put in milk, the milk would get spoilt. And this was mistaken for hardening of the milk by Appanna. The author further asked Appanna if he had seen it happening. Appanna said that he had heard people say he did not have milk for such experiments. So Appanna also tells the author that he did not have so much of milk for experiments. He knew what he had heard from people. The author asked Appanna if there was any base for these stories or simply people spread stories of plants and herbs. The author further felt that he should only experiment. Author felt that he should only experiment and see the result if milk turned hard. So the author was ready to do this experiment. The author plucked some leaves from the creeper, took it to his friend Chandru's house. Chandru was a plant pathologist. So the author took this leaf to that pathologist's house. Chandru was his name. They decided to conduct the experiment. They brought 1 liter of milk. There was one more scientist friend who laughed at them and said that they were wasting 1 liter of milk listening to the cock and bull stories. The author and his friend put the leaves and the milk in a mixer. In the mixer grinder they put it, they switched it on, and after the milk and the leaves both were mixed properly, they poured it into a vessel. Chandru and the author both together took the leaves, 1 liter of milk, put it in a mixie, and then when both mixed properly, they switched off and they put it in a vessel. They poured it in a vessel. They both watched if it curdled and became hard or it remained normal. So this was the experiment. Observation was needed. Now for a couple of minutes, nothing happened. The author thought he had wasted 1 liter of milk. But when he touched it again, he found that it had become firm and rubbery. When the vessel was inverted, the whole thing fell out like a molded cast. Yes, the milk had become hard. The author felt that the creeper had some qualities, but they did not know which disease it could cure. They knew that the leaves of the creeper would turn the milk hard, but for which disease it was useful, they did not know. The author says that nobody knew things like Mara. So the Mara is not there now, he is dead. So the author remembers Mara. Mara knew the things better. The people simply would tie the creeper to a nearby. The author says that nobody knew things like Mara. The author remembers Mara. Mara is dead now. And the author says Mara had great knowledge of all these things. These people would simply tie the creeper to a nearby plant and say, stay here. They would never take it home to cure any ailment. The people simply tied whatever they had heard. They heard people say that you have to tie the creeper to a nearby plant. They would tie it. They would never take it back home to cure any disease, ailment, pain. Coming to page number 23, time passed and once again Mara's medicinal creeper was forgotten. The author further continues the story. One day, one more person, Krishna, who was a farmhand, came there. He looked pale and breathless, whereas earlier he was perfectly okay and healthy. He had stopped working in the farm some time ago and had started driving a rickshaw. This man Krishna had started passing blood in his stools. The author thought he must be suffering from piles, and the only treatment for piles then was surgery. The author wondered how Krishna would manage the expensive surgical treatment. He had wife, he had children at home, with no work, with no earnings. How would Krishna manage his home? Then how he would undergo the treatment? That was what the author thought. How Krishna would face the situation with so much of expense and no work, no earnings. And how would he stay at the hospital? So this was what the author was thinking of. Krishna took some money from the author and went to the hospital, and there he was advised surgery. Krishna was scared. He did not want to undergo surgery. Krishna did not want to undergo surgery. So Krishna went to a Malayali sadhu. There was a Malayali sadhu there whom Krishna knew. So Krishna went to him. That Malayali sadhu had treated Krishna earlier when he had boils all over his body. He was like a god man to the people. The person who gives Ayurvedic medicine and cures the people of the village, he will be called a god man. For them he is a god because he saves their lives. So Malayali sadhu is said to be a god man. Krishna goes to that person because he doesn't want to undergo surgery. The Malayali sadhu, that is the god man, had given the bark of some tree which Krishna was supposed to crush and mix with ducks, eggs and eat. So this was earlier when he had boils all over his body. This was the medicine the Malayali sadhu had given. The treatment was of 10 days. Krishna was completely cured, and after that he never had a boil again. So earlier when Krishna had gone to the Malayali sadhu for treatment, he had given him some medicine. So when Krishna took this medicine, he was cured of his boils. After that he did not have a single boil on his body. So Krishna again thought of going to that Malayali sadhu, and he came to him. But this Malayali sadhu had become very old now. The godman told that he did not have strength to search that particular creeper or that particular leaf in the forest. But he said that he would describe to Krishna that particular plant. And he told Krishna, you have to search that particular plant, you have to dig the tuberous root, mix it with milk and drink the medicine for 5 days. So the next day, coming to page number 24, the next day Krishna went in search of this creeper because the godman could not go, that Malayali sadhu could not go to the forest in search of this. He was aged, so he tells what particular creeper or what particular leaf Krishna has to get from the forest. So Krishna goes in search of the creeper. The author was sure that it was the same creeper that Mara and Appanna had tied to the nearby plant. The author took Krishna to the place where it was tied. They dug out the roots. Krishna took this root, prepared the medicine as told by the Malayali sadhu. Within a day, his piles improved. He was completely cured in 5 days. Krishna had bid goodbye to his rickshaw driving. The author mentions one more thing, that while digging the root, he had tasted a small bit of the root. The author also is very much interested in such things. So while digging, what he had done, he had tasted a small bit. Krishna completely got cured in 5 days, and he bid goodbye to the rickshaw driving. The author mentions one more thing, that while digging the root, he had tasted a small bit of the root. It was bitter. This author also is very much interested in all these things. But the small piece happened to cure his heel pain. The author had heel pain and swelling in his legs. If he would walk a little distance, there would be swelling in his leg. So the swelling that developed when the author walked long distances, that was cured by eating this root. Earlier he had been to the hospital and the surgeon had suggested for a surgery. These allopathic medicines are all having side effects, and you go there, they tell you surgery for each and everything. Of course, for certain things, when accidents take place, we have to take the allopathic medicine. There is no other way, because we have to immediately get cured. But sometimes with this Ayurvedic medicine, with Unani medicine, there are certain cures, so we can opt for such things. Okay, earlier he had been to the hospital and the surgeon had suggested for a surgery. The author noticed that after consuming this particular root while digging, he had no more swelling in his leg. He would not limp now. Earlier the author used to limp when his legs would pain after walking, when they would swell and swelling developed, then he would limp. But now he stopped limping. There was no heel pain. There was no swelling. The author knew that it was the effect of the creeper. It was purely accidental. The author said that creeper could be a cure for many swellings in the body. But who had to do this research on all this? The author says, as the root of the creeper had cured his heel pain, swelling and all, there are many cures which this creepers will have. The creeper can be a cure for many diseases. But who should know all this? People like Mara are no more. People like the Malayali sadhus who have the knowledge of this remain confined because of their weakness, because of their age. Lastly, author says that the native doctors don't share their knowledge. They believe that if they told others, then the medicine would lose the potency or the ability or importance, because the people do not use it in a correct proportion. These Ayurvedic medicines are to be used in the correct proportion. Some have to be taken in cold water, some have to be taken in the warm water, lukewarm water. So when people don't take it in the proper way, they do not find the use of it. So it is only the doctors who can guide you, who are giving the correct proportions. The health of each person is different. So a doctor can judge how much of the medicine is to be given to the particular person. It is only because of this belief that India's native medicinal system, it is only because of the belief that India's native medicinal systems are on the verge of extinction. That is what the author says in the last paragraph. He says, it is because of this belief that India's native medicinal system are on the verge of extinction. Author says there is a need for research on such creepers so that our medicinal system can be promoted. So this is what the author says. Lastly, so this is all about the lesson, children. Hope you all have understood it. Do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.